All right. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the episode number 5 of the DUBS podcast. Today, coming at you with a guest star, White Lightning Hall of Famer, Luke Hogenkamp in the building.
Welcome to the pod, Hoagie.
What's going on, guys? Thank you for having me. Thank you for coming on the show today. It's a pleasure to be a part of Dub's podcast 5. I know we have some good things headed for today, so let's get started.
All right. So our opening topic today, Taysom Hill. We all know him. Great quarterback coming out of BYU. All right. He could potentially be the starting quarterback for the Saints.
Once Drew Brees retires. Yeah.
So what are you guys' thoughts on this?
Go ahead.
I just think it's a great idea. Yeah, introduce Drew Taysom. So Taysom Hill is basically he can be a blocker. He comes out on special teams. He's a versatile player. And honestly, a couple years ago in the NFL, I would have never have thought like if someone like this could be a starting quarterback. But I mean, I feel like the game is changing. The quarterback is such a premium position now, and a quarterback is required to do a lot of stuff. Look what it had to take to win the Super Bowl this year. Patrick Mahomes balled out like crazy, and I feel like Taysom Hill, honestly, I feel like he's a good option. Yes, he's the maximum amount of passes he's completed in an NFL game is only 1, but I mean, give him a shot, man. He's a super athlete.
Mm-hmm. And to speak on that, he's only taken. I'm reading just now. He's only taken 33 snaps as quarterback in the past 2 years. So obviously, I think there's going to be some hate, kind of like the hate that Lamar Jackson got for being quarterback.
Yeah,
saying that that's not his position. But I think he's a versatile player to make it happen.
I think that hate that you're talking about is coming from me. I don't think he'll be the starting quarterback because remember I know it was only a 1-year contract, but they also signed Jameis Winston, who's a legit quarterback, who's only 26 years old. He still has everything in front of him. He had, most interceptions. That doesn't matter. This Jameis Winston, talent-wise, is in the top 10 for quarterbacks. I think it's just they're trying to be like the Ravens or something. I think people are just trying to blow it up because there's no sport, no football to watch. They're just trying to find a story. I think it's false. Taysom Hill he'll still play the same role, but he won't be the guy taking every snap.
I feel like it's a high risk, high reward. Like as Luke was saying, exactly how Luke said it with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. No one thought, but look at it now. It's a super high reward. He's on a rookie contract, and now they can add weapons around him and build a super team. And I feel like that's the way Sean Payton's gonna go with the Saints and with Taysom Hill because he's very creative with his plays, and I feel like Taysom Hill would fit perfectly because he can run, he can scramble, he can play action. It'd be a nasty offense in New Orleans with him under center.
I don't know. You have, like Steven says, you have Jameis Winston as your backup quarterback, and I feel that guy has the same athleticism as Taysom Hill. You talk about how Taysom Hill has that versatility. I see him more akin to someone like David Fletcher on the Angels, who is a utility guy for the Angels. He's not the star player, but he makes a huge contribution being able to play second, third, left, and is a consistent contact hitter. So to me, Taysom Hill is going to play the exact same role on the Saints. Won't take the spotlight. Obviously, will have a crucial role, but I also don't see him taking a starting quarterback role, especially with Jameis Winston as your backup right now.
It's also a disrespect to the Saints offense. You have Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, even though he's the running back, a great receiving back, and then you also have Emmanuel Sanders. Those are top-tier receivers. Taysom Hill's not a passer. You put Taysom out the starting job, they're trying to make their offense like a college triple option type of team that won't work when you have the skill that they have. It's just disrespecting the players on their team.
Yeah, I kind of do have I do have to agree with that. Taking Taysom Hill and putting him at quarterback will leave a spot open up for the Saints offense. So I think in that sense, they will be lacking.
All right, Luke, you want to shift it over to MLB proposals?
Sure.
We have two
Go
loops.
ahead.
We have two
Go
loops.
ahead. Yeah.
So, this comes from CBS Sports. We have MLB proposals that were brought up. So I'm just going to list them down. We're going to have an 82-game regional schedule. Teams would play both NL and AL regional opponents, which is like around region, like Western. And there would be a universal DH. There's going to be 30-man active rosters with a 20-player like taxi squad, which is basically just minor league players. 14 teams in the postseason. That's compared to the usual 10. With games played in home cities in October. 50-50 revenue split for the players and the owners. And MLB claims that the teams would lose a combined $4 billion if the players do not accept another salary reduction. The owners claim that they will lose about $640,000 per game. Safety protocols are going to be very intense, as we all thought. And teams are basically told to quarantine at their hotels, and they're only allowed to go to like a section that's sanctioned off outside of their hotels. So,
What are our thoughts about this?
oh, and then we have the standings right here.
The proposed divisions.
Proposed
It's like,
divisions. Yeah.
In the West, we've got the Dodgers, Angels, Giants, Astros, Rangers, Mariners, Diamondbacks, Athletics, Rockies, and Padres. The Central will have the Cubs, White Sox, Brewers, Cardinals, Royals, Reds, Indians, Twins, Braves, and Lions. In the East, we got the Yankees, Mets, Red Sox, Orioles, Nationals, Phillies, Pirates, Blue Jays, Rays, and the Marlins. So this is interesting to me. The three divisions. Yeah. For the MLB. I personally kind of like this for the circumstances that we have. I'm looking more towards the Central because you got the Braves and you got the Cubs and the Brewers and the Royals. That looks very interesting to me. Just jumping out.
I know we talked about this proposed realignment for the divisions like a couple episodes ago, and we were talking about how stacked the East Division is.
Yeah,
and when you look at it, with the exception of the Marlins, Pirates, and Orioles, all those teams could like win a World Series.
Oh, yeah.
Blue Jays, that's a high ceiling for them, but just because of their young talent. But still, that East Division is stacked. The Central Division, I think, will be the closest, just based on because besides
they're all mid-tier teams.
Besides the Braves, I think all of them are like kind of the same. It's kind of, but I think it'll be interesting with the Braves because they play in the NL East.
Yeah,
so
they'll play
them. They'll play they still play all these teams, but just not as
frequent.
So it'll be interesting with the Braves.
Yeah, I feel like MLB had to step in and swap the Braves and the Pirates because if the Braves were in the East, like that East is insane. Like I'd feel bad for Orioles pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I already feel bad for them, but yeah, I like to shift my focus towards the West, man. This is really promising for Angel fans. Yeah, I feel like this is very promising. We play the Dodgers good. And we gotta play the Padres and the Rockies. So you play every team in your division nine times. So three game series. That was the proposal.
Oh, okay. And normally it's like 18 in your division.
Yeah. So I think it's like 81, 82 games. So you play everyone in your respective new division 9 times. So the Angels get to play the Dodgers 9 times. The Astros get to play the Dodgers 9 times. I feel like this solves a lot of problems because at first a major problem was like, how are we gonna schedule the season so it's fair? Because for example, the Astros and the A's played in the normal schedule that was like before COVID. The Astros and A's played each other 15 times before the All-Star break. So that's pretty unfair because those are the top 2 teams that. So like if you went based off the schedule. Like you just continue the schedule post All-Star break. That's unfair because the Astros lose 15 games against a top AL team, and like it wasn't dispersed evenly. And I feel like with this, I really like this proposal.
I wouldn't overlook the Rockies because this type of proposal favors teams with good offensive with less pitching, and they have that. And adding on, playing at home at their stadium,
course, yeah.
But I don't know. I still think the Astros and the Dodgers are the two best teams in the league. Even the Astros losing Cole, I don't know. I still think, though the East is the best division, the West has the two best teams.
It's really top heavy. Yeah. The West is.
I do like this realignment for sure. It keeps some of the rivalries that we always love to see. We got the Dodgers,
Giants,
and Giants, which is going to be really fun this year. Hopefully this year. We got the Cubbies and the Cardinals, and maybe the Brewers even can be thrown in there as a little bit of a. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah. You got White Sox,
just
Cubbies.
Mix things up a little bit.
Yeah, White Sox, Cubbies.
I want to hop on Steven's point real quickly, where he said the Rockies have a good chance. I was reading an article in the Wall Street Journal a week or two ago, and they're saying how the shortened season actually gives mid-tier teams a better chance because since you're playing less games, it's less likely for the better teams to keep playing. Because obviously if you think about it scientifically, right, the more you do something, the more likely it will happen, right? But because of less games, it's less likely the good teams will win out. So they're saying, I think they said the Angels' chances actually raised don't quote me, but they raised about 5 or 6% with the shortened season. And I want to say it was the Rangers who actually had the biggest increase. It had a 14% increase
for sure
in their odds.
They got Kluber.
The point being is that the shortened season will make this MLB season really interesting because I think we're going to see some mid-tier teams or maybe some teams that we don't even think about right now just suddenly shoot to the top and be whoa, this is such a surprise.
And if you guys think about it, dude, a slow start now that for a good team that can really hurt you towards the end of the shortened season because a notorious slow start in 2018 where the Dodgers they got off to a really slow start because they finished the season tied with the Rockies for first in the NL West. That in 2020, that can be a burden for the team. And I just feel out of the gate, teams have to be ready. And an interesting team. I want the Mets to go far. I really value their pitching and who knows? Maybe they can piece it together for half a season. That's the thing. You only have to piece it together for half a season.
Yeah.
I do have a question. I do have a question for you guys based on these realignment. We can see the little diagram here. Who do you guys think will struggle the most within the whole entire league based on their division realignment? Steven, go ahead.
The Mets.
Okay.
I said it before just because they don't have the offense. They have Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil, but nothing much after that. Maybe Michael Conforto, but they have stellar pitching. But in that East division, even they'll get touched up some because the NL East, playing in the NL East, that offense isn't super good besides the Braves and maybe the Nationals. But the new East division will touch up Syndergaard, DeGrom, Zach Wheeler.
Yeah,
wait, did he resign with them? I don't know.
For me, the team I'd pick the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are going to struggle. They're not too offensive heavy as well. They lost Marcell Ozuna, if you guys don't remember.
Yeah.
And
they're
only
fantasy team.
He was a beast. Yeah, he was on my fantasy.
Yeah.
The brothers do the same thing. fantasy. But Goldie had a down year last year, and then the White Sox are up and coming. The Indians are formidable, and the Twins mash. And now you got the Braves to worry about.
Yeah.
And the
Braves team is scary.
Yeah, and the Brewers always got. I mean, they're gonna figure it out. Milwaukee's gonna. Dude, this heavily favors Milwaukee because you know how their pitching style is. They just throw a bunch of dudes whenever, hey,
100%.
This heavily favors Milwaukee, and it'll keep their arms fresh. But yeah, I see the Cardinals struggling. The Central is gonna be a bloodbath because everyone's pretty even, and their teams are better in different categories. So I'm excited to see the Central.
I feel the Central. Oh, go ahead, Jelly.
I think one team that we should really look out for, and I think it's going to be like a little bit of a sleeper pick, is the White Sox. White Sox, if you don't know, they signed a lot of they got a lot of big signings. They got like Edwin Encarnacion, Gio
Yasmani,
Gonzalez, Yasmani,
Dallas Keuchel.
Dallas Keuchel, Nomar Mazara too. Like their team is going to be pretty strong, I think. And if
Yeah.
like you said, if they can string up a good win streak here and there, like they'll be a pretty good contending team.
And they got
going off of what Shelly said, I looked up the probability. So I'm looking at the Fangraphs playoff probabilities, comparing from 162 games to 81 games. And it's interesting to see that the White Sox have a good chance, because the White Sox playoff percentage with a 162 game playoff is 18.7%. In an 81 game playoff, it's 35%. That's a difference of 16.3% with a shortened season. That is the third highest. The two higher teams are Rangers at number 1 with a 162 game playoff, have a 1.6% of making it. And an 81 game playoff at 19.3%. I know that number probably is still low, but that's a jump of 17.7%. And this number will please all of us. The Angels are number 2 with a 162 game playoff at 50.6%, but in the 81 game playoff is a 33.2% with a difference of 17.6%. So, and then in the
Who's
comparison,
number 1?
The Rangers.
The Rangers.
Okay.
But we're number 2. At the bottom, you have the Dodgers, who have a 98.7% of making the playoffs in a 162 game playoff. But in an 81 game playoff, they have a 71.4%.
Wow.
That's a loss of 27.3%. So, and you talk about the Central, right? The highest ranking Central team of winning it is the White Sox in terms of difference percentage.
Dang.
With the part of the season.
Brandon, can you tell me where the Phillies rank on that? So that was going to be my hot take. I was going to say that the Phillies are the team to have. I think they're notoriously slow for heating up. So I think they're going to be the team that struggles in the East with all the heavy hitters and some pitching. So that's kind of like my hot take on who's going to struggle most.
You think the Phillies are going to struggle?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
They have guys that take a long time,
Yeah.
162 games to heat up,
They're
especially after the All-Star break.
Especially they're an older team too. With McCutcheon coming
100%.
back, he hasn't seen a pitch in over a year, and like they don't have, they're not getting any reps too. Like the first couple games are gonna be pretty bad. Honestly.
They have the names. They have the names. They have Gene Segura. They have Rhys Hoskins. They have Bryce Harper. Obviously, they have the
pitching
names
too.
And they have the pitching. But this is the team that's going to be a slow start to the season for sure.
It's funny you say that, because the Phillies are actually ranked eighth highest.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask. Yeah.
In a 162 game playoff, they have an 18.2%, but in an 81 game playoff, their percentage jumped to 30.7%, and that's an increase of 12.5%. So
yeah, that's also based on like the pitching, right?
Right. And these numbers were generated back in mid-March. So
which is surprising how the Angels are so high, considering our pitching is so bad.
Are terrible.
I mean, maybe we have to bring Matt Harvey back again, maybe for another stellar season.
The Dark Knight.
Yeah, the Dark Knight.
I have to go back to Shelly's point. I don't know. I don't think the White Sox will. I mean, maybe in in the new 14 team playoffs, but I don't know. You look at their signings, Keuchel. He won a Cy Young in, what was it, like 2015? But that was a very different game, even though it was only 5 years ago. You got to be a power pitcher nowadays, and he could barely touch 90s. Yes, he gets ground balls. He's the best at getting a ground ball. If you want to get a double play, he's the man to go to. But I don't know. He doesn't fit our game anymore. That's why he wasn't stellar for the Braves. For Edwin, he hits power, but I don't know. The pitching in that Central Division is pretty good, especially with the Cardinals. Their bullpen's nasty. You know, the Brewers, they have a nasty bullpen. The Braves are just overall just amazing. And then who'd you say? Nomar Mazara. He's like a 220 guy. He won't hit higher than that, maybe 230. And then Yasmani, he's good. I can't complain about that. He and JT Realmuto, I think, are the two best catchers in the league. So, like, there's nothing wrong with him. But I don't know. There are other free agent signings. They're good players that just don't fit the game that we play.
So you say that about – so you're saying the White Sox are going to trend in the path of the Reds, like you predicted too?
Yeah.
So both teams are going to struggle, even though both won the offseason, technically?
Well, everyone knew the White Sox. I'm saying that the White Sox will be good in the future because of their prospects, just not with the players they have now. Because Kopech, Yohan Moncada, he's been playing, but
Eloy.
Eloy, yeah, their young players are good and will transition into like superstar players. Just their free agent signings, yeah, they were like besides Rendon and Garrett Cole, they were the best on the market. I don't know, they're just not that good. It wasn't that good of a free agent season besides Cole and Rendon.
We talk about winning the off season, and then showing that into the real season, but it's kind of hard to do that right now with COVID. We've never experienced anything like this. We don't know how the players are going to be having this long break, not touching the ball for some, and then going into spring training for 3 weeks, and then entering the real season. So that whole winning the off season can't really prove anything right now in this moment of time, I think.
Yeah, very, very strong. What was I gonna say? Okay, so I just have a question for you guys. I just remember this like from a while back. Like it's just from my memory. Okay, so if you guys were the Indians GM, would you have traded Lindor if you had the chance to go back in time?
Yes.
Yeah.
They gave away Kluber. They were like the Angels last year. They were not good enough to make the playoffs, but were too good to be like sellers at the trade deadline. And in the offseason too. They just had, because Jose Ramirez had a horrible one of it, like
awful.
The first half of the season was horrible. He picked it up in the second half, but the talent on their team is still like good, but they just didn't perform besides Lindor. But I don't know. I would have traded though, because I mean, you can't predict the future, but I wouldn't have thought that but they caught up to the Twins. I mean, they caught fire in that second half and got really close to the Twins, but it was just tough luck.
No, I meant like trade them in the off season. So like the Red Sox did with Mookie. I say yes because like COVID like it shortened the season and you just the Red Sox.
Yeah, but you didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That's why Dodger fans hate themselves right now.
The Red Sox made a weird decision, re-signing Mookie for $27 million or something just to trade him back.
Seriously.
Just to get something in return, but are the prospects they got in return worth $27 million? We don't know. But
I think Verdugo's good. I think Verdugo's a really good solid outfielder.
A great outfielder for sure.
I feel
like
it was a funny move. Like it was unconventional for them to sign him back just to trade him. When they signed him, I knew they were gonna trade him away. At first I thought it was smart, but I thought before thinking that, of the pandemic, the Dodgers completely won that trade because they didn't. Remember, Angels were going to get Ross Stripling and Jock Peterson for Luis Rengifo.
That was huge.
Even if the Dodgers gave them away, they still would win that trade, getting Mookie Betts, and they got Brewstar. But not giving them away, they definitely won that trade. But now with the pandemic and Mookie Betts might be done with the Dodgers after this season, it's kind of tough luck for them, especially in the past couple of years with them with the Astro. Like the Dodgers have just been the unluckiest team in the past 3 years. Really.
They need to incorporate trash cans in their system. That's what they need.
Yeah, Lucas Sardo, shout out. He works for the Dodgers. What was I gonna say? Should we move on to Harper's proposal?
Yeah. Should I get into that? Should I introduce it?
Sure.
Shelly.
Shall I introduce it? Okay.
So this is Mr. Bryce Harper's proposal, his plan. He posted a lengthy Instagram post, I don't know, like a week ago, somewhere on a week ago, where he listed his entire proposal for how to reopen the MLB. So here's what he said. MLB would realign the teams into East divisions and West divisions, similar to how the NBA is structured. Teams would play into November with a 135-game schedule. Teams would get an off day every other Monday and play 7-inning doubleheaders on Sundays, like travel ball. Expanded rosters. Each team gets 30 players. Postseason would include 10 teams, just like normal, and be a round-robin format hosted at the Texas Rangers' new ballpark or another site similar. He said that Vegas was thrown in there, probably just because he's a Vegas boy. Once the World Series is decided, teams get 2 days to prepare, in which the All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby will be held. I think that's a great idea. Fun time for the sport. Next two MLB seasons will be pushed back to allow ample recovery time. So, what they would do, I don't fully understand it, Steven.
It's like, okay, so normally the season starts, March, into late March, early April. So the season after his proposed season would start around May, mid to late May. And then the season after that would go mid to late April, and then they'd be back on track in the third season.
Just taking a few months off.
I just want to mention that the reason why Vegas was thrown as an idea is because Vegas has the infrastructure to house all the teams with all their hotels.
And they have a minor league stadium there, don't they?
Yeah.
I think so.
Also, another thing, if you guys didn't click yet, so with this proposition, I'm pretty sure the playoffs would go into late November, early December. So in some cities like New York, Boston, it's cold. It's almost impossible to play baseball. It starts snowing. So Vegas sounds like a perfect idea, or like Arizona, something.
That's why they listed Texas Rangers ballpark.
Yeah,
too.
a hot city.
It still gets pretty cold there.
I do have a very aggressive proposal of my own.
Okay, Luke, let's hear it. Let's hear it, guest.
Rendition. Okay. I created this. I just want to let you know the time I put into this. I created this about 10 minutes before we started the podcast.
All right, so, I like it.
All right.
I did have research. It's very aggressive, I mind you, okay? Okay.
I like aggressive.
So,
Ew.
all games are going to be played at Angel Stadium and Dodger Stadium only. Reason for that is there are around 7 4-star hotels around the Angel Stadium area, which I'm assuming that these bougie players want really nice hotels to quarantine in with their
families. And they want to be in SoCal.
Exactly. The weather is perfect. Almost everything is perfect here. For Dodger Stadium, for Dodger Stadium, countless high-end hotels. These two ballparks are very historic, and really nice, which make them top candidates. I was going to choose the Oakland Coliseum, but that place is a garbage can.
Luke, maybe even to expand, hey, you can throw in San Diego. It's not far at all.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe for the
put the Giants Stadium in then. I mean, if you look at the A's,
maybe for the 3 divisions. So
yeah.
Once I send this to the MLB, I know they'll have some requests. So with the top end hotels, I know the players would love that. Next thing, there would be. This is very aggressive. There's going to be 4 games a day at each stadium. So
my God!
Not the same team, I don't think. Right?
Yeah, I know.
Listen to this.
This sounds like an all-star weekend for Little League.
Rest in peace, the field, man.
Exactly. That's the part.
Shout out Barney.
Games would start at 10 a.m. every day at both of the stadiums and go 2.5 hours drop dead.
No.
They would be 7-inning games.
The
first game would be at 10 to 12, and then the next game would be 1 to 3, and then 4 to 6, and then 7 to 9, ending at 9. Listen, this is the fun part. If the game is tied after the 2.5 hour drop dead, there is a shootout. The shootout involves a home run derby. This makes it fun for the fans. The home run derby will.
There are going to be no fans.
He's giving a 30-minute turnaround from one game to the next.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
He's thinking of it because when we worked as a fieldman for shout out Baseball Forever, one-day tournaments, he's thinking of it like that.
Dude,
this sounds exactly like an all-star weekend for Little League.
Okay, let me remind you that the fieldmen are professionals. This is their job. They will spend the entire day doing this, but they will be increased pay. Okay. The fieldman
Would you
will in
get
fact,
well?
the fieldman will in fact be paid more than the players in my proposal.
I guess in that one, since you're only playing at like 3 fields, you could bring in fieldmen from the other teams
Yeah.
and work
Exactly.
together.
That makes it.
Okay,
that
but
makes
then the
sense.
problem is that, those people that work on their fields, that field, they know like the back of
Okay,
their hand.
we're
Yeah.
thinking too much into.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so
let's just.
let's
okay,
go to
so
Harper's or something.
when the game is tied.
Okay,
No,
no,
wait,
he has
hold
more.
on.
He has more.
Derby.
He has more.
I'm about to blast Luke for this.
Okay,
Like-
when the game is tied, you go into a home run derby. The farthest home run. No, I'm just kidding. You get to pick 3 players from your team to
Pitchers
involve
only.
to involve in the home run derby, and you just do a few rounds, and winner takes the tie ball game. So
Okay.
that's Hogenkamp's proposal for you.
Okay, I'm about to
Yeah,
shoot
let's do
this idea down.
Wait, hold on. I want to say something real quick. I actually like it just because of how crazy it is. Like,
Exactly.
No,
Okay,
like-
listen.
ESPN would
You
die
can't
for that.
incorporate
Listen,
a drop dead in
ESPN would
baseball
love
unless
that.
No,
for a
exactly.
for
baseball
fans'
isn't meant
experience.
for
Yeah.
baseball
No,
isn't meant
fans'
for
perspective,
drop
I
I
dead.
agree.
guarantee you Blake Snell would like this idea. Guarantee.
Well, you're just trying to please Blake Snell. Hit him
Well,
up.
he's the
Send
only
it
one
to
that
him.
doesn't wanna
Snellzilla.
play.
Get him on the pod,
no.
bro.
You can't have a drop dead in baseball because that's the beauty of it. It's not timed.
Yeah,
we talked about
exactly.
this
I
a
just
couple
put
of
one in.
Dude.
I just put one in.
Dude, teams would so milk out the time.
Yep.
Like if they're up,
You
they'll-
could fake an injury.
reliever. Yeah, call in
Okay,
mound
reliever.
visit.
Then we make sure they don't do that. We speed up the game like they do now. We put clocks on pitchers. We put clocks on between innings because there's no fans, so there doesn't need to be an interaction.
Players aren't gonna want to do that though. Players like their own time. I do not.
I'll text Mike
Anyway,
Trout and see what he says.
anyway, a player would agree to this unless you're like a player who makes like $500,000. It doesn't really affect you.
But think about it. If we do 4 games, this is just for Dodger Stadium or Angel and Dodger Stadium. If we do 4 games a day, that's 8 games, 16 teams. So you have around 1 day of break, unless you go back to back for a game every day. So every other day. So I'm just saying that this works out time wise.
What happened?
And it's a lot more fun to have a home run derby and a tied ball game because it's only going 7 innings. So it's a lot more fun
Wait,
to have a home run derby.
was there like an increase in how many are on the roster?
I didn't really get
Yeah,
into that
okay.
detail.
Okay, because
No.
like I think if you do have that would like totally destroy the 7 innings because like you have
But
you could throw like a reliever an inning or something like pitching like it'll be like heavily affected in just 7 innings.
my thought
Yeah.
was that these teams would have the relievers be the starters. It's only 7 innings. A reliever can go 4 innings or a few
Chapman
innings.
cannot go 4 innings.
Okay, okay,
Dude,
okay.
no, honestly,
Chapman
remember-
can go 4 innings. Anyone can go 4 innings. It's just he won't be competing at the same level that he normally competes at.
Yeah.
Chapman actually
every team can do this.
I bet Chapman could go 4 innings because I remember
They try to make him a starter in
no.
Cincinnati.
Well, no, not that. When he was on my fantasy team,
Oh my.
one thing I remember
Well,
is that
it's
he
not a
pitches
fantasy.
better when he's like more tired. So like he'll pitch better if he pitches 3 or 4 consecutive games. He'll pitch better in that 4th game than if he pitched one day and then took 3 days off. Like he pitches better when he gets more reps. So I feel like he'd get better as an inning went on.
Yeah, dude, I feel like for this, teams would just throw their 7 best guys 1
Yep.
inning each.
Yeah.
And just keep
Okay.
them fresh.
Look at the
That makes it
Brewers.
fun,
The
right?
Brewers would thrive in that one because they remember in the playoffs when they started Brandon
Miley.
Woodruff. They started Woodruff, who at the time wasn't a starter; he was a reliever, and
he
they put
threw
him
like
into
3
it.
innings.
They put a reliever. They had a game just relievers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we go back
And-
to Harper's and discuss that
Yeah.
one?
Okay.
Okay, so the one thing that stood out for me that like you could tell he was thinking of this as a player and not like as an executive.
Yeah.
But one thing that stood out to me was the seasons pushed back. I think MLB should implement that. That wasn't in their proposed idea for like future seasons. I think that's super smart
Uh-huh.
because we don't have to start next season at the exact same date. I think
Uh-huh.
that will guarantee the best play. Who cares if we play November into November again next season?
Or
I think-
December. It doesn't matter.
I think it's smart. But everything
Yeah.
else is just like Luke just trying to put extremes.
Yeah,
I don't like the 135 games.
way too
yeah,
many.
It's way too many for people, for these athletes, especially coming back from COVID. Like, you don't know. So, and who knows, like, some players can get it while playing. Like, 135 games is just way too much. And like, it's too much for a player, like, with so much else going on in the world, and like them thinking about their families and stuff. I just feel like it's just too much baseball. But he wants it because, like, for these players with top tier contracts, they want to maximize as much money as they can get.
That's the reason he put this out here. For sure.
And that's the reason some players like Blake Snell are gonna agree to this, because that was Blake Snell's biggest concern. He's like, heck no, I'm not gonna risk injuring myself for such little money. First of all, their salaries are already prorated for 50%, and then on top of that, they want to take another, like, I don't know exactly how much percentage they want to take from the 50%, but they want to take it for revenue sharing, and they'll say they'll pay it out over time. But like, these players want their money. I mean, it is a touchy subject, and it's going to be hard to come to an agreement, in my opinion, but it'll eventually get done.
Especially with that revenue, like, because, teams get revenue from selling
tickets,
team products, tickets. But if they're going to be, regional games, teams like, the Rays and Marlins are going to get destroyed because they don't, they can't pay their players as much as, teams on the Yankees. And now they're getting less money because, less people. They already have like no people going to their games, but it'll be less or possibly none. I think that's going to be a huge problem for that with the revenue.
I think it's important to consider, because my dad said this too. I think a lot of us forget that the people who are speaking up are guys who have multi-million-dollar contracts. Blake Snell, Bryce Harper, but we have to remember that's probably only, I want to say, the top 25%. There's players who are making league minimums, $500,000, $750,000, and they're not. Their concern should be the same as Blake Snell's, because they're getting paid less per game, even with the prorated contract, because it's all proportional, right? And my dad was saying, like, for Blake Snell to have said that, yes, he's right. But he also has to remember that there's guys who make way less than him and who are living paycheck. Like, I'm not saying they're living paycheck to paycheck, but they're making way less.
$500,000. Literally,
we're going through the same exact risk. So, and it's. And I don't want to bring in politics, but it's akin to, like, the arguments of reopening, like, just the world in general. Like, these people who are unfortunately making less money, are struggling, and I would relate that directly to the MLB saying, and this is the problem with COVID in general, is the financial aspect, which is quite a sad thing and touchy thing, as Jesus said. But I think that these high level players also have to keep in mind, their brothers who are making less than they are too.
Yeah, but when we talk about less than they are, what was Mike Trout's contract? How much? What is he getting per year?
He's gonna get like 37 this year, or like 36.
Okay. And so Pete Alonso's still on a rookie contract, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So he's getting the minimum, but the minimum isn't, like, we're kind of acting as if they're living paycheck to paycheck. They're not really living paycheck to paycheck. They're not being paid poorly. They're Major League Baseball players. They're getting paid well, actually.
I'm pretty sure they're not gonna, like, league minimum players aren't gonna get a 50% pay cut. Like, that's insane.
100%.
Hell no.
Yeah.
No, like, there's no way they would get cut to like 250,000. Then that's a problem. But yeah, I don't see the league minimum players on rookie deals and stuff. I don't think they'll suffer as much. But yeah.
Well, my point only being that, like, I think we should be more encompassing or open-minded with, when players argue about money.
Well, yeah, 100%. I think I don't know. This kind of made me dislike Blake Snell for talking about this.
Yeah. It's
for like bringing it to the public's eye.
He's like, people are saying, oh, he's worried about his health. No, it's greed. Like, this guy already made, I don't know what his contract is, but I know he's on the Rays, but so he's not getting like top tier money, but like, that's still probably in like the top like 5% in the country or something. Like, he's still getting a ton of money. He should just be, the baseball players should be grateful to play baseball again. and not say, oh, we're getting less money, we're gonna go on strike or something.
My question regarding Harper's proposal, I think everyone should have input here. Just really quick though.
Just to let you guys know, Blake Snell makes $573,000, so it doesn't really affect him.
Okay, never mind. I thought he was making like $7 million a year or something like that.
Yeah, so stop with all the Blake Snell hate, guys.
Okay, so with the everyone put their input here. With the 135 game schedule, what are they playing doublehead? I think they're playing doubleheaders, and they're playing almost every day.
Yeah.
Who do you think this affects more, the pitchers or the
position players?
Or the position players. Steven, you start first, and then Shelly, Jesus, Brandon, and then I'll go.
Okay. So Blake Snell's actually making $10 million a year. Just saying, he signed a.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Can you repeat the question for a second?
Okay.
Dude.
Of the 135, you're gonna do this quick.
The
Of the
135
game schedule, are the position players being affected more, or the pitchers being
Pitchers.
affected more?
Pitchers.
Considering, remember, if this were real, they would have a 30 player roster.
Well, the question is, you don't know who they're gonna fill with the 4 extra spots. If they're gonna add pitchers or hitters, it'll just depend on the roster. But overall, it's the pitchers because it's as you know, a baseball player, pitching has more of an effect on, even though you're playing less, pitching has more of an effect on your body, and you're getting less time off. So.
Okay, Shelly?
Pitchers. 100% pitchers. It's going to be a lot of stress on their arms. I don't know.
Okay. Good.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and say the hitters because, okay, if you guys think about it, okay, the manager is probably going to, like, out of those extra roster spots, he's going to lean towards picking more pitchers. And position players aren't going to be expected, like, oh, why are you complaining? Like, you're not a pitcher. I feel like they're gonna be with this proposal. They'd be demanded a lot of playing time, a lot of games, and I feel like eventually take a toll on them. Like position players, obviously, it's not the same risk as a pitcher, but like with these new proposals, like they're gonna be playing. They could be playing a 14-inning doubleheader, and then they'd have to play, I don't know, on Monday or Tuesday. Like it'll also take a toll on them because they're gonna be playing every day.
I don't know.
Okay.
I feel.
It's his opinion. It's just his opinion. So
yeah,
it's not really right or wrong because honestly, this doesn't seem realistic. The 135 game schedule.
Yeah.
Brandon, what's your opinion?
I'm gonna agree with Jesus here. I also think the position players are going to take a toll. From personal experience, playing the baseball schedule we do in high school. Say we play Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I know I was exhausted. We only play 7 games. I can't imagine playing Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm sure some of the guys, like I know the managers will rotate their players, but at some point or another, these guys are going to play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at least, like 5 games straight, and maybe the doubleheader. Like that's kind of ridiculous in my mind. And pitchers will get like a day or 2 off here and there, but the position players don't. And I think it's going to mount more on the players than they do on the pitchers.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a 2-2 tie. I'm coming in, and I'm gonna support who do I support? You know what? I think it's gonna take more of a toll on the position players. My answer was kind of lines with Brandon's. These back-to-back games every day are really gonna take a toll on the body. That's just many ice baths there. But guess what? You can't have ice baths because after the game you have to go right to the hotel and quarantine after
exactly.
Playing this game. Pitchers,
Can I change?
Steven stands alone.
As a catcher,
I feel like
imagine catching every other day.
Exactly. That's our whole point. That's
crazy.
This is really going to take a toll on the position players.
It'll take a toll on everyone.
No doubt.
100%. The pitchers will have more of a break. Hopefully they'll have more of a break, and hopefully the managers who are able to manage their teams a little bit more conscious toward this schedule if it were to happen.
Yeah. My view was that with the 4 extra players, they would lean more towards getting position players because they know that pitchers are pitching less, and Normally teams within their 25 now 26-man roster would have a second catcher. I think they'd get a third, and then possibly other infielders and an outfielder or two. Or I don't really know, but I think they'll be platooned out, and that based on the Angels, you have David Fletcher. He could fill basically any spot on our field. I don't know. I just feel like the managers would, based on their expanded roster, would lean more towards getting position players just to be able to platoon them out to save, because the pitchers already have, 3-4 days rest.
Okay, so we can all agree that we side with MLB's proposal.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
definitely.
I think it's
Yeah.
less aggressive.
Yeah.
I do like the round robin tournament style.
The College
so
World
do I.
Series style.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Harper's. I think that would be exciting. But yeah, it's just super aggressive.
I mean, I don't think Bryce Harper meant for anyone to take his
Take it
proposal
serious.
into super serious
Consideration.
consideration. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely. It was just nice, just to hear something from a player, and similar to Luke's, it's kind of extreme, but it's a nice thought to consider. But the article I was reading said the author of the article said we aren't supposed to take this seriously. It's just something to think about.
It's for podcasts like these where we talk about it and compare it. I
So-
think honestly mine makes more sense than his. I'm gonna be honest.
Dude, no, it
It's
does
a lot
not.
more fun.
What was I gonna say? The thing I do like though, which Luke also said he liked, was the season being pushed back. I feel like that's a realistic thing that's gonna happen to give these players rest, especially after, depending when this season ends. Like if it ends in November, December, it'll definitely be pushed back. I really agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like that's a smart idea to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please the players. They're already going through a lot.
Fans could go an extra month without watching baseball.
Yeah. Should we shift to the
All right.
So
Shelly? Bring that up.
So this is some fun news. These are the Pensacola
Pensacola, which is in Florida.
Blue Wahoos. They're the Twins' AA affiliate. They put up their entire stadium on Airbnb. Yes, $1,500 a night. People can use the team's clubhouse, the batting cage, and the field. It can hold 10 guests. There's a bedroom with 4 bunk beds. There's 2 queen beds, 2 baths, and no kitchen.
Ooh.
I don't know why we're.
I saw this
Much
actually,
attention to
and
this.
I read that everything you can use anything. Nothing was off limits.
They don't have a kitchen in there. That was just the thing.
Yeah. I think it's a good experience. For $1,500 a night though, for a AA team.
Yeah, they
aggressive,
should.
but
Well, if you look at
it could be fun.
It's
you
a
look
whole
at-
stadium. Dude.
yeah,
It
you
is
look
a
at
whole
their stadiums right next to looks like
It's a nice
Atlantic
stadium.
Ocean, right next to Atlantic Ocean. So I don't know, from the looks of the stadium, outside, it looks like a beautiful stadium. And some minor league teams, they I know this isn't a Yankees affiliate, but minor league teams get their money from the farm systems get their money from the major league team. So, some teams go all out, I would assume, in their clubhouse for luxuries. I think it would be a cool experience to go, take some hacks in the batting cage, be on a professional league field. I feel like it's cool.
However, the deeper rooted question in this is: are they offering this Airbnb deal because are they losing a lot of profit right now where they need more money?
I wouldn't. I already had this argument kind of in my head. I wouldn't necessarily argue they're losing money. I'd rather argue that
they're being creative.
One, they're being creative, but minor league teams, I would argue don't bring in as much money because it's minor league and not many players go, and this is just another outlet for them to make more money. And I think a lot of it appeals to the fan, who doesn't want to spend a night in the stadium. I mean, we talk about what's it? The Blue Jays arena, Blue Jays Center has a hotel.
The hotel that overlooks.
Yeah, And like I see posts on the Instagram, the fan accounts on Instagram, like who doesn't want to spend a night in a baseball stadium? Yeah. It's just another creative outlet, and since Florida has less restrictions right now, and baseball's not back yet, I think it's smart.
Florida's crazy, man. They do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they're just trying to please the fans. It's not like a ploy just to get money.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a win-win situation for everyone.
You could honestly ramp that price up if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I
thought this was pretty low.
Yeah, that's why you could ramp up. $1,500 a night. You could ramp that up maybe to $2,000, $2,500.
I mean, heck, if you bring 10 guests, that's $150 a person.
Okay.
So.
Okay, the question is though, this is where things. Oh, I mean, never mind, because Florida is pretty loose and lenient. But like, what kind of restrictions would be made? So like, for guests who stay, like, are they gonna COVID test them before just to make sure?
Do we know that this is
real
now that you can do it?
Yeah, it's
I'm
real.
on the site Airbnb right now. You could check.
Okay, so knowing that it's Florida, I don't know if they're gonna.
Exactly.
Okay, no, they're definitely gonna have restrictions. Yeah, Florida is crazy, but I don't know. Maybe it requires that you've had COVID testing in the last week or two or something like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to all our fans in Florida. We love you.
Because then again,
good job. Sean.
Like, imagine cleaning the whole stadium. Like once after someone uses it, like how are you gonna clean the whole stadium? And make sure, or what they use.
Yeah.
There's no on the website. There's no specifics on what you have to do. I don't think anyone's gonna be stupid enough to be in fact they might not know, but if they know, no one's gonna be stupid enough to go. So
if you have a fever, stay home. That's basically what they're
Are they dog friendly? Can we take Hank?
Oh,
can we take Coco? Can we take Hank? That's the real question.
I hear that. Well, so it says in the clubhouse there's 4 leather couches, 2 flat screen TVs, a ping pong table, padded chairs, 2 large tables. So you could definitely bring stuff to fit that, have yourself a little party. There's 2 bathrooms with showers. There's no washers. You can't wash clothes because it's an Airbnb.
Dude, it's $15 a night. I think you're gonna be there for 1 or 2 nights max.
Yeah.
You're not gonna want
for a whole month.
Angels at a baseball
So
stadium.
they do say that
a week.
everything baseball related will be provided: bats, balls, helmets.
Okay, so they are selling the field also.
Yeah, because they're saying you could hit in the cages at 2 a.m. at night.
Well, that sounds cool. That sounds
This
That's
looks
a vibe.
like David Dobrik vibe.
Can you turn on the lights and stuff? Have them on all night?
It's probably expensive to do.
Now
that.
the question. Now it's kind of a dumb question, but say sports come back. How long will they just take it off right away?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so.
Maybe they have a long road trip. The Blue Wahoos have a long road trip. Hey, come stay a night.
No, they can't do that.
Maybe
you don't know if they're gonna mess up the field or not.
Maybe 1 or 2 games in between, but they have to leave at least 1 or 2 days of leave space in between to just the field.
But I'm just saying, a long road trip.
Maybe, and in the off season, maybe it's a realistic option if it doesn't host any because then again, this stadium probably hosts high school games and stuff. You never know.
Yeah. So it says a Blue Wahoos representative will provide a full tour of the areas when the guests arrive, and then a staff member will be stationed in the ballpark throughout the guest stay to provide security and answer questions.
Oh, so they're gonna watch everything you do. I mean, they have cameras too, so
I'm pretty sure people will be. I would like to think.
Yeah.
It also does say you could buy stadium food, beverages, and stadium merchandise. So I think that's kind of cool. While you're there, you could go to team stores and stuff.
Shopping.
Wait, that means there's how is it $1,500 a night then?
That's for additional charge, the food.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
It doesn't say you can't bring your own food though.
I'm pretty sure you have to though.
Wait,
they
don't include the food?
No, well, they have it. You just have to pay extra for it.
I guess
I doubt it'll be
hot dogs for dinner if you're paying $1,500.
I doubt it will be super expensive. The food, I bet it'll be say you have a hot
dog.
Okay,
the helmet nachos for $18.
I'm on Airbnb right now, and I'm trying to figure out what you can buy for
Like
$1,500.
what
Oh,
else
you're
you can get?
Oh,
What
In
else?
London, you can get a 12,000 square foot house with 90 acres of land.
Yeah,
What
but
else?
who
What
wants
else?
that for? Yeah.
I'm
I
just saying,
would.
I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
but
I think
you
it's a
gotta-
lot of money.
it's super
I think
sim-
it's a,
It's
I think it's a
similar.
lot of money for
12,000
But it-
square feet.
Then again, it's also a stadium. Like they're gonna have to
It's
the
insane.
cost.
You're not
That's
paying.
the thing.
Yeah, they're selling the experience rather than the
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent the
Stadium.
night in the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, who
I
can
can,
say
it's
that?
a
right?
cool-
just
it's
see
a cool
clickbait YouTube video.
Mr.
It's a
Beast
cool
is gonna
story-
put,
it's a
like,
cool
24
story
hours in
to
a
have.
baseball stadium.
Like I was saying
Yeah.
before, like David Dobrik would freaking buy this and spend.
Nah,
spend
Mr.
2 nights
Beast would,
there.
and he
Yeah.
would do something crazy with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, should we move on?
He used
Yeah.
to play baseball.
That
Shelly,
was a long time.
Um,
Talking about a major minor league stadium.
we also have from ESPN. They're making new 30 for 30s, 30 for 30 documentaries. You don't know? I'm sure everyone knows that's watching this. Last Dance. I haven't watched it, but it's a great series. They've got 3 big ones coming. Lance Armstrong, the professional cyclist who was on top of the world and then got crushed because he was stupid.
He doped.
Steroids. Then we got the Bruce Lee one. I'm looking forward to that one. That one looks fun. And then the Mark McGwire versus Sammy Sosa home run race.
I'm excited for that one. I'm really excited because there hasn't been a lot of behind the scenes footage on it, and like I feel like a lot of people's baseball identities are gonna be like you're gonna really be able to see like baseball like behind the scenes like we saw with the Last Dance. Like it was really cool. I'm really excited.
I don't know if we're gonna see almost in depth as the Last
Yeah,
Dance.
as much.
I don't think we're gonna be even close.
Yeah, because
to-
they granted like full
to be
camera
full
access.
on.
yeah, to see
full on
behind the
access.
scenes, and plus, I think this is just gonna be a shorter docu-series. I don't even know if it's gonna be a series. In
I
fact,
think
Yeah.
I think
it's
the
one
Lance
episode.
Armstrong one will be the most popular. Just
100.
because,
I think it's fun. I
'cause
think it's
Yeah.
yeah, I have a hot take on it. This can be my hot take.
I
Yeah.
know my dad. My dad's definitely gonna
Yeah.
watch the Lance Armstrong one.
I mean, I remember I did a speech on performance enhancing drugs, and I used Lance Armstrong as a example. Like Shelley said, at the top of the world, he won the Tour de France 7 times, 5 times in a row. Winning it once, dude, not even winning it, just completing it is a huge accomplishment because it's like 3,000 miles on a bicycle, 2,000. It's like 2,500, 3,000 miles.
You have to be an athlete to do
Yeah,
these.
like-
The fans need to know that Lance Armstrong at his peak in
Peak.
time, he was one of the best, if
Yeah.
not greatest athletes at the time.
And he won. Okay, yeah, he used steroids, but he also won this 5 consecutive times after beating testicular cancer, lung cancer, and brain cancer all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's literally giving him having just one of those is almost giving you a death sentence. But having 3 of those, there's like no shot at you. And then not only beating that cancer, but also finishing the race.
I really
Winning
like how we're shining a spotlight on his career because I feel like a lot of people have forgotten about him.
Yeah.
No one watches professional cycling.
Yeah,
the reason
It's
they
like
from my dad.
NASCAR,
No one watches
the
professional
reason they've
cycling.
forgotten about him is because I think the mistrust, the whole
Yeah.
doping scandal.
Well, I think
because
that would,
of that,
yeah.
it's like I don't know how to compare it to Barry Bonds because
You can't, I don't think
Barry
you can.
Bonds did steroids. You guys had him at top of your lists for greatest.
Barry Bonds was
baseball
also
players.
an example of my performance enhancing drug.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
He was also
So
on
it's
your
kind of-
fantasy team.
it's hard to talk about Lance Armstrong and not bring up Barry Bonds at the same time because it's almost the same thing. He was regarded as the best of his time until
anyone could take steroids, but few people, if any, could hit the amount of home runs Barry Bonds did. Like, steroids are not hitting, even though he did admit, hitting 762 home runs is a huge accomplishment, and that's why he was at the top of my list, just because how scary it was for him to step in the box. And he was
Yeah.
even number 2 for MLB's all time
Yeah.
of ESPN's or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Should we wrap it up with some hot takes?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
I think we
All right,
should.
I'll go first because mine is gonna be wild. Everyone's gonna disagree. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I feel like the Miami Marlins are at least gonna have a record of 500. All right, hear me
Ooh,
out.
I love these. I love it.
Hear me out. They're gonna get off to a hot start, and that's gonna give them confidence in such a shortened season. Like if not the Marlins, one random team is gonna get off to a hot start, and they're gonna have confidence. And to get to 500, all you're gonna have to do is win 41 games. And the Marlins don't have that bad of a team.
But
The
you're
Marlins
playing that
don't.
East Division.
So it doesn't matter.
You're only playing that East Division.
They got my boy Corey Dickerson. They got Jonathan Villar. They got
Brian
Jordan
Anderson.
Yamamoto.
JJ
Brian Ander-
Plate, Vandy.
Bri-
go.
Brian Anderson is on my fantasy team.
Yeah,
this year.
Brian. They
Who
got
isn't
Brian
on your
Anderson.
fantasy team?
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah, this year.
Roasted.
I didn't get
Yeah.
enough laughs for the Barry Bonds is on his fantasy team joke. I thought that was kind of funny.
Dude, no way the Marlins. Okay, maybe the Marlins in a different division, but no way in that East division.
They're gonna get to 500. One of those good teams is gonna blow up. Either the Mets or the Phillies. Think
Okay.
about it. I'm telling
Okay.
you. Well, when they're 500, I'm gonna be. I told you so. That's what
Okay.
I'm gonna say.
Let's have Luca
right.
last since he was our guest star.
Yeah. All right, Shelly, or
okay.
whoever.
I'm going
I'll-
next because mine's kind of more culturally. I was watching
It's F1.
KBO this week, and they had a guy on. Oh darn, I forgot his name, but he was basically an LG Twin super fan. It's really interesting hearing the fan perspective from,
Awesome.
or hearing his perspective as a fan. They had like songs for every player. I think the American culture will take some inspiration from the KBO. I'm not saying as intense as the KBO fans are, but I think that because he said that he when he studied in America and watched the Dodgers and the Phillies, because he studied in LA and Philadelphia, he said our MLB games are boring because people just sat, drink their beer, and talk to each other. He's like, there's a baseball game going on. So I think that the culture of American baseball will shift ever so slightly, but be a little more I would dare to say rambunctious than it is now because of the influence of the KBO.
Just the way you're talking about how he thought MLB games are boring, I think our American culture of baseball, that's the exciting part. That's what our culture is. Sitting down, drinking a beer, eating a hot dog. Like that. That's what's exciting for us. Yeah.
Right. But I think, because I know I was hyped from hearing him sing and chant for each player. I think, we'll take some inspiration from that. As sports becomes more globally connected.
Okay.
Hey, if you want an exciting game, go to Angel Stadium at the Rally Monkey. Go to the Braves. And oh,
Okay, the Braves is much more exciting.
Oh yeah,
that's
I went to a Braves game. They do it like it's like this Florida State. They do it for anything exciting. The Braves do it for a strikeout. Like it's really exciting. Brings you to your feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, go, Steven.
For my hot take, mine's on the 30 for 30 of the Lance Armstrong. Like I said, from watching like previews of it, the like mini trailers they have on commercials, him saying, "Let me tell my story." I think it's kind of a weird hot take. I think people will hate him less. I think he'll get a lot more respect. With the not one last dance, just Last Dance with Michael Jordan. I remember hearing people saying like, after watching this, you have to put Jordan at best all time, and it's no dispute.
True.
It's kind of the same thing with Lance Armstrong, because I remember researching when I was writing this essay. He said that it's almost impossible to complete the Tour de France without using steroids. And then when I was researching like past races, the top 4 finishers all were using steroids, so they were all disqualified. And then the guy who finished 5th won the Tour de France. So like I think people will sympathize with him more. Yes, he denied it a ton. I think people will see that from his eyes, no one, like Shelly said, no one watches cycling. Like it's a boring, like people will realize how hard it is to complete that race, that people will gain more respect for Lance Armstrong. That's why
Okay.
they're coming out with this.
I'm just gonna say my favorite cyclists are Chris Froome and Van Gardner.
So like,
I know
Other
who those
boy
are,
Shelley.
though. So
Okay.
I know who
those are?
those
boy.
it's like Grand
I
Theft
do.
F1.
I
I
know
have
who
no
Chris-
idea what
right
you're
there.
talking about.
I know
I
who
only,
Chris
I
Froome
only
is.
know about it because my dad. My dad.
All
watched
right,
it.
Team
Shelly.
Sky. He's Team Sky, right?
Yeah, Team Sky. Team Sky.
Told
Won the
you.
yellow jersey like
Yeah,
2 years ago.
a couple
or
times,
a year
yeah.
ago.
All right,
Uh,
Shelly, you're up.
Mine. This is it. I don't know. Is it a hot take? Is it an opinion? I think that
That's
the
what a hot take is.
I think that the MLB should adopt, and I know they already have it in Tampa Bay and in Toronto. They should adapt They should add the foghorn or the train horn when a home run is hit, because I think it is the greatest sound like in the world. I don't know. It's just the best sound.
Like in hockey?
Nah, the Yankee Stadium home run noise is sick too with the lights. I like that one. That one's my
Angels,
favorite.
I think
one too,
Angels
yeah.
did it too. Angels did it too. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
I like the Yankee Stadium. And no, everyone. I don't think like every stadium has their own thing. You know,
Yeah.
like Fenway's is
it would-
different.
It would make it less exciting.
Yeah,
I like the
and then-
Fireworks Angel Stadium, though. I personally do.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the fireworks
And-
too.
Oh, and the fire. I like the fire.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the special thing about Angel Stadium is our fireworks, because we all grew up watching the Angels, going to Angel games. I always thought people just always did fireworks show, but when I went one time to Busch Stadium and they had a fireworks show, it wasn't as exciting. But the reason is Angels get their fireworks from Disneyland.
From
Yeah,
Disney.
so
yeah.
we're like loaded.
Shout out Disney.
Shout out,
yeah.
Disneyland.
Luke.
All right,
your hot
Alright,
take.
Okay.
Guest star.
Before
go,
I start,
Captain.
I think a great idea for your guys' next podcast is to have
Ooh.
Shelly's dad on to
Oh
talk
my
about
gosh.
the Lance Armstrong documentary
Okay.
and kind of like what cycling it means to him, and if like Lance Armstrong impacted your dad, because I know he's a avid cycler. That's
Okay.
just
You
an
did-
opinion of mine.
Another guest
Shout
star.
out,
Yeah.
shout out to my dad. He did complete the race across America.
Oh,
last
that was
year.
sick. Yeah, I
John
followed that.
Schellenbarger.
John
He
Schellenbarger.
was with the Brazilian team, right?
Yes, he was.
And you
Hey,
got
we should- we
the
should-
yellow,
we should have
the
him
yellow
on the-
arm sleeve. The
Yeah,
yellow
it
arm
was-
sleeve.
I got it right here.
Damn.
Yeah, we
Hey,
wore
Sean,
that for
I
a
think
baseball
we should have him on and have him talk about his experience. Like that'd be super
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
that'd be
That
cool.
would be cool.
Boom.
But
Okay,
yeah,
you're welcome.
2 Brazilians, 2 Americans. It was a quad race. It was very cool, very fun.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so before I start, I just want to let the audience know the 2002 Oakland Athletics. You guys know about them?
Moneyball.
20 straight wins. Yeah.
Moneyball, 20 straight wins, general managed by Billy
Billy
Bean.
Bean.
Yeah.
The next team to do this in the coronavirus epidemic, the Seattle Mariners.
They're gonna
Mm.
Moneyball it.
No, I
Listen,
I
listen,
see your
listen.
point.
Can I-
No,
can
I
can
agree with
continue?
that.
Can I continue? Okay.
Yeah.
They have 3 guys on their payroll right now that are making good money. They have Kyle Seager, Kikuchi, who's the pitcher, who struggled last year, struggled
Yeah.
bad,
He was terrible.
and D. Gordon. They're those 3 guys are the highest paid on their team by a lot. I think they're gonna be the team that starts off hot like they did. I think they started off hot last year.
13
Oh,
and 2.
They
Yeah.
started off
13-2.
hot in the
13
West, but
Yeah.
then they tanked. But that's because it took a while. The season took a long time.
Yeah.
With this new sort of 80 game schedule, this is going to be the team that starts hot and ends hot because of the shortened schedule. That's my hot
Okay.
take.
Okay.
You know, the Seattle Mariners, if you guys don't know, go watch the Dorktown documentary on SB Nation. They did a full documentary. It's like 3 hours long or something about the Mariners and their entire history. And the Mariners are extremely crazy. Like, they're extremely unlucky. They went on that 13-2 stretch, then they went on a 13-39 stretch. Like,
And
right.
they've lost. Like I remember when I was a kid, they lost like 16 games in a row. I remember. Yeah.
They've been known to do horribly, but not last year. Last year they finished last in the AL West.
No, a couple years they were good with King
they
Felix
pick
still in his
stuff up.
prime.
They can
yeah.
pick stuff
I don't
up.
know. I
No,
don't know if they have
I
I don't know if they have the mentality yet, just because they've missed the playoffs the last like 18
That's
years.
the whole thing with
Yeah.
the Moneyball, though, right?
No, the Athletics made
No.
the playoffs the year before.
It was just the A storyline is different though. The A's their problem was they were basically a farm system for the
Yeah.
top teams,
Yeah.
and they didn't know how to compete. They're like,
because
this is unfair.
The
Yeah.
Mariners have more money than the than the A's do.
They
They're in a
do,
bigger
which-
market.
Yeah.
They do, which was my point for their top 3 paid. I think D Gordon is the 3rd most paid, and he makes around 13 mil.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's his,
For like 13 hits a year.
which is crazy.
Luke,
Considering it's D Gordon.
the
Yes.
thing that does back you up. So Baseball Reference is doing this thing where it's projecting the 2020 season, like how it look right now.
Mhm.
And the Mariners right now are sitting at like 30-22, so they're not even that bad. And in a shortened season, who knows? Like they can pick it. Hey, Mariners and Marlins World Series, baby.
Dude.
Tell you how big right there.
I'm looking at Fangraphs right now, and their 81 game predictions. They still have the Mariners and Marlins dead last. The Mariners 31-50, and Marlins 35-46.
You know what, Brandon? That's because it's a hot take. That's
Yeah,
why
it's
I
a
said
hot
it.
take.
It's a hot
No,
take.
I don't disagree with
But
you.
look
I'm
at
just
the
saying.
Moneyball.
attraction, baby.
But at
Law
the
of
end of the
attraction.
day, the Moneyball thing, yes, they got him 20 straight wins, but they still lost first
In
or
the
second.
AIDS.
Yeah,
And the-
like it'll
Okay.
come to a stop.
Guess what?
and,
It's
like,
going to be a 10-team round robin playoffs because of coronavirus. This is going to be the year Seattle Mariners make the playoffs, become
Make
World
the
Series
World
champions with an asterisk because
Yeah,
of
I like
coronavirus.
it, Luke. I
Nope.
like it.
Thank you,
What was I gonna say?
I like
Also,
it.
fans, yeah, if you guys haven't watched Moneyball right now during quarantine, it's a
best-
really good movie.
best baseball movie.
Yeah, I've watched it like at minimum 10 times. It's really
It's
good.
so
It's
good.
Yeah.
It's not like
It's
a ton of
emotional.
action. It's a ton of like it's a talking
just a
movie, but
story,
it's
yeah.
so good. Brad Pitt does a really good job. Him and Jonah,
Jonah
Hill.
Hill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good movie.
All right.
All right.
Well, I
Shall
think that's going to do it for episode number 5 of the Dubs podcast.
Yes.
Thank you guys for
sir.
having
Luke,
me.
how'd you like it? How'd you like it?
I liked it a lot. There was really good. There was really interesting ideas brought upon the table.
Uh-huh.
I thought that you all had great input and all your different experiences were able to within sports were able to show. So I really liked it. Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much
coming.
for coming on. Yeah. Like I said before, we do our episodes a day early on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Now we're on Apple, Google Podcasts, all those other ones. Go check them out over there. We're there a day early than the day after we go onto YouTube. Please like, subscribe, follow the podcast on those platforms. Comment your hot takes
and
Hello.
ideas.
and ideas.
Yeah.
And ideas. Just put your entire season proposal in the comments. Why not? Take them Dubs. See you next time. Peace out, guys.
Stay safe, everyone.